Dear children, we have already started with electrochemistry chapter, and last class we discussed about qualitative aspect of electrolysis, that is products of electrolysis, and today we'll discuss quantitative aspect of electrolysis, that is Faraday's law. Before discussing the laws, let me quickly revise what is an electrolytic cell. If you remember, in the last class we discussed, this is a single container in which two electrodes are there. Left hand side it is anode and it is positively charged. Right hand side it is cathode, it is negatively charged. Both of them are dipped in an electrolytic solution. So this is an electrolyte. Some amount of current is passed through it and oxidation occurs at anode, reduction occurs at cathode. There are some characteristic features of electrolytic cell. One is that we are supplying electrical energy, and this electrical energy is responsible for the chemical reactions which are occurring in it. So electrical energy is converted into chemical energy. Another aspect is this is a kind of non-spontaneous reaction. It doesn't occur on its own because we are supplying electricity, then only the reaction is occurring. So delta G for such kind of reactions is positive. Then anode in this case is taken as positive and cathode is negative. This is contrary to the electrochemical cell which we have discussed in the first class of electrochemistry. No need of salt bridge, and this takes place in the single container. These are some of the features of this cell. Children, now start with first law of Faraday. I will take the case of sodium chloride, which is molten. Molten sodium chloride will be taken as an electrolyte, and two electrodes are inserted into this. These are of platinum electrodes. Left hand side anode is there. It is positively charged. Right hand side it is also made up of platinum. This is acting as cathode. This is taken as negative because it is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. This is positive and this is negative. You already know when electricity is passed through sodium chloride, it changes to sodium ions. This ionizes as sodium ions and chloride ions. And sodium ions being positively charged will move towards the negative terminal, which is cathode. So at cathode, sodium ions will be attracted and it undergoes reduction and it changes to sodium metal. Sodium metal is deposited at cathode. When one sodium ion gains the charge present on one electron, then one atom of sodium is deposited on cathode. So one sodium ion gains the charge present on one electron and one atom of sodium is produced. What is the charge on one atom of electron? We have already studied in class 11. It is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. Suppose you take 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 sodium ions, then how much electronic charge you need? You need the charge present on 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 electrons, and then 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 sodium atoms will be produced. What is this quantity equal to? This is Avogadro number. shall I say 1 mole of sodium ions if you take, then you need what charge? In order to convert sodium ion into sodium metal, you need 1 mole of electronic charge. Beta, charge present on 1 electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulombs, and charge present on 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23, you multiply the 2, it comes out to be 96487 coulomb, which is roughly taken as 96500 coulomb, and it is equal to 1 Faraday. So by passing 1 Faraday of charge through 1 mole of sodium ion, 1 mole of sodium atoms are produced. There are two units of charge which is represented by Q, Coulomb and Faraday, and they are interconvertible. As we know, 1 Faraday is equal to 96500 coulombs. There is some reaction which is occurring at anode. Chloride being negatively charged move towards the anode as it is positively charged. So chloride ions, 2 chloride ions will lose 2 electron and will change to 1 mole of chlorine gas. So you know, by releasing 2 mole of electron, you get 1 mole of chlorine gas. So 1 mole of chlorine gas is produced by using or by releasing 2 Faraday of electronic charge. In this case, it is 2 mole of electrons which are produced. So I'll say 2 Faraday or 2 into 96500 coulomb will produce 1 mole of chlorine gas, and its molar mass is 2 into 35.5, which is 71 grams. So in order to produce 71 grams of chlorine gas, 2 Faraday of charge is required. If I pass 4 Faraday of charge, naturally you will get 2 moles of chlorine, which is 2 into 71. So more the amount of electricity passed, more is the amount of substance deposited at any electrode. The amount of substance which is deposited or liberated at any terminal is directly proportional to the quantity of charge passed through the circuit. I'll take few more cases. If I'm talking about magnesium chloride, this ionizes to give you magnesium ion and 2 chloride ion. Let's talk about magnesium ion. Magnesium ions, 1 mole of magnesium ion will gain 2 mole of electronic charge and 1 mole of magnesium is deposited here. In case of sodium, you need only 1 mole of electronic charge in order to deposit 1 mole of sodium. But in this case, you need 2 mole of electronic charge. 2 mole of electronic charge means 2 Faraday. So 1 Faraday is required to deposit 1 mole of sodium metal, but 2 Faraday of charge is required to deposit 1 mole of magnesium metal on the cathode. So if I pass 4 Faraday, then naturally 2 mole of magnesium will be deposited here. Now I would like to formulate the law. It says that mass of any substance deposited or liberated at any electrode is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. So mathematically I can write down Mass is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed. Quantity of electricity is the charge, which is represented by Q, and you know charge is equal to I into T. I is the current, T is the time. Look here, when I pass more amount of current through this, पहले पास किया 1 एम्पियर, फिर 2 एम्पियर, 3 एम्पियर, you will see more and more amount of sodium and chloride ions are liberated and deposited. Even if I pass same amount of current for longer time, then also more amount of substances deposited or liberated at the respective terminals. So I'll write down here mass is equal to, I'll remove the proportionality sign, this is Z. Z is the proportionality constant. Q I can write as I into T. So my formula here is M is equal to ZIT. See, what is M? M is the mass of substance deposited. Z is the electrochemical equivalent. I'll tell you how to define this. Electrochemical equivalent. I is the current, which is expressed in ampere. T is the time, which is expressed in seconds. How will you define electrochemical equivalent? If I pass current of 1 ampere for 1 second, so time taken is 1 second, then M is equal to Z. ये दोनों 1 हो गए, so M is equal to Z. How will you define Z or electrochemical equivalent? It is defined as the mass of substance which is deposited at an electrode when you pass unit ampere of current for 1 second for unit time. Let's write down electrochemical equivalent is defined as the amount of substance, which is mass, deposited at an electrode when 1 ampere is passed for 1 second. Beta, I would like to discuss some questions. Like the question is, how much charge is required for converting one mole of aluminium ions to aluminium? You know, in this case, you will say this implies when 1 mole of aluminium ion, they gains 3 mole of electrons, then 1 mole of aluminium is produced. So I'll say 3 Faraday of charge. 3 Faraday of charge is present on 3 mole of electron. 1 mole of electronic charge is 96500 coulomb, which is equal to 1 Faraday. So it is 1 mole of aluminium will be produced when you pass 3 Faraday of charge. Second part is 1 mole of copper ions, how they will be converted to 1 mole of copper? Naturally by passing 2 Faraday of electronic charge. So 2 Faraday is the answer for this. C part is when 1 mole of MnO4 minus changes to Mn2 plus. How will you find out the change in electronic charge? Let's calculate the oxidation number of manganese here. Manganese is X. There are 4 oxygen. Each oxygen is -2, which is equal to -1. It comes out to be +7. and here it is plus 2. What is the electron change? It is 5 electron changes there. So you may write down here 5 electron. What is the charge on 5 moles of electron? It is 5 Faraday. So in order to convert 1 mole of permanganate ions to 1 mole of manganese, you need 5 Faraday of charge. And how to convert 5 Faraday into Coulomb? 5 into 96500 coulombs. We have some more questions. How much electricity is required in terms of Faraday when 20 gram of calcium chloride is produced from 20 gram of calcium is produced from calcium chloride. How will you do? Calcium chloride, when electricity is passed through this will change to calcium ions and 2 chloride ions. 1 mole of calcium ion requires 2 moles of electronic charge in order to get 1 mole of calcium metal. What is the charge over 2 mole of electrons? It is 2 Faraday. And what is the atomic mass of calcium? It is 40 gram per mole. They are asking for 20 gram. 40 grams require 2 Faraday. 20 gram require 1 Faraday. Similarly, there is another part. 40 gram of aluminium from Al2O3. What happens when electricity is passed through aluminium chloride? You will get aluminium ions and oxide ions. How many oxide ions will be there? 3 oxide ions. And how many aluminium ions? 2. So first of all, see, aluminium ions gains 1 mole of aluminium ion gains 3 moles of electron and changes to 1 mole of aluminium metal. So it requires 3 Faraday. The charge on 3 mole of electron is 3 Faraday. And what is the atomic mass of aluminium? It is 27 gram. So shall I say 27 gram of aluminium is produced by passing 3 Faraday, and 40 gram of aluminium will be produced by 3 upon 27 into 40. We have one more question. How much electricity is required in coulombs and the cases are, first case is when 1 mole of water changes to O2. H2O2 is oxidized to O2. In the last class, oxidation of water we have discussed. Here the oxidation number is -2 and here it is 0. 2 electron changes there when 1 oxygen changes from water to O2. But there are 2 oxygens. So it is 4 electron will be produced here. And if you balance it, you will get here 2 here and 4 H plus. Shall I say when 2 mole of water is used, then quantity of electricity is 4 Faraday. That is 4 into 96500 coulomb. But we have to do it for 1 mole of water. 1 mole of water requires 2 into 96500 coulomb. That is 2 Faraday. Second part of the question is 1 mole of FeO when it changes to Fe2O3. You see what is the oxidation number of iron in both the cases? If you calculate, it comes out to be +2 here and this is +3 here. So when ferrous ion changes to ferric, 1 mole of electronic charge is required, that is 1 Faraday. So now in this case 1 Faraday is required, and if you want to answer in coulombs, it is 96500 coulombs. Children, let's start with Faraday's second law. Faraday's second law of electrolysis. As we have discussed earlier, more is the quantity of charge passed through the electrolyte, more is the mass of substance deposited at an electrode. But suppose if two or more electrolytes are there and same amount of charge is passed through them, then what will happen to their masses? Are the masses deposited will be same? Let's find out from the second law of Faraday. This is one container in which two electrodes are there, and this is anode and naturally it is cathode. I don't have a space to write down. I'll take another container in which again two terminals are there. One is anode and cathode. These two are connected with a wire and these two are connected with a battery. Here the electrolyte taken is silver nitrate and here the electrolyte taken is copper sulfate. The two electrolytes are connected in series. That is why we say that the same amount of charges pass through both of them, and that happens in the series connection. Children, what do you think about the deposition of masses of silver and copper at the electrode? Are they same? Because the amount of electricity passed is same, but it is not the same. Why? The rule says when same amount of electricity, that is Q, that is charge, is passed through two electrolytes connected in series, then the masses of the substances produced at electrodes are directly proportional to their equivalent weights. What does it mean? It means mass of silver deposited upon mass of copper deposited is equal to equivalent weight of silver divided by equivalent weight of copper. Now what do you mean by equivalent weight? Let's see. Equivalent weight is atomic mass upon number of electron lost or gained. Let's find out equivalent mass of or equivalent weight of silver. Atomic mass of silver is 107.9. I'll take it as 108 grams per mole. Divided by, in case of silver, you know silver ions, they gain one electron and they change to silver. So it is 1 Faraday of charge. 1 mole of electronic charge is gained in this case. So it is divided by 1. So its equivalent mass or equivalent weight is equal to the atomic mass, that is 108. What is equivalent mass of copper? Equivalent mass of copper is equal to, atomic mass is 63.5 divided by. What happens in case of copper? Copper ions, they gain 2 mole of electrons and 1 mole of copper is deposited. So 2 Faraday of charge is there. You will say it is 2. So 2 is the number of electrons which are gained in this case. So its equivalent mass is 63.5 divided by 2. So mass of silver deposited in this case is 108, whereas mass of copper deposited is half of 63.5. You know, same charge is passed through 2 electrolytes, but still the amount of copper and silver deposited are different because they are directly proportional to their equivalent weights. Even if I connect the third electrolyte of aluminium, its mass deposited is also different because aluminium gains 3 Faraday of charge. So its equivalent mass will be 27, which is the atomic mass, divided by 3. Children, I would like to discuss about electrochemical equivalent again, which is Z. You need to learn Z is equal to equivalent weight of the substance divided by 96500 coulombs. Why I am saying so? Because we know that 1 Faraday deposits 1 gram equivalent of the substance. Children, I will discuss a numerical here which is given in the NCERT text. It is question number 16. They say there are 3 electrolytic cells A, B and C, and they contain zinc sulfate, silver nitrate and copper sulfate. See what else is given. They are saying the steady current of 1.5 ampere is passed through this, and this current is passed until you get 1.45 gram of silver is deposited. So mass of silver which is deposited is 1.45 gram. This is given to you, and they are asking how long this current is passed. It means time we need to find out. When this is the circuit, so 1.5 ampere current is passing through it, but for how long this is passing, what is the time interval in which this is passed, that we need to find out. And few more things they are asking, like what mass of copper will be deposited and what mass of zinc will be deposited in this case. Children, although we can apply the formula Q is equal to I into T, but T we need to find out. Charge also we don't know, although equal amount of charge is passed through this, but what charge is passed we do not know. And current is given to us. Only current is given to us. Charge we don't know, time we don't know. But mass of silver is given to you. So let's concentrate on silver nitrate electrolyte. You already know silver nitrate, when electricity is passed through this, it ionizes to give you silver ions and nitrate ions. Silver ions, 1 mole of silver ions will gain 1 mole of electronic charge and will be converted to 1 mole of silver metal. 1 mole of silver metal, the mass is 108 gram. By passing 1 Faraday charge, 1 Faraday is the charge which is present on 1 mole of electrons, and this mass is deposited. Do it by unitary method. 108 gram of silver is deposited by passing 1 Faraday of charge, which is equal to 96500 coulomb. 1 gram will be deposited by passing how much, and this much is already given to us, 1.45 grams. It is 96500 upon 108 into 1.45. You know, this much of charge is required to collect 1.45 gram of silver. So if you calculate it comes out to be 1295.6 coulombs. And if this much charge is passed and 1.45 gram of silver is deposited, and we know as the three electrolytes are connected in series, the same amount of charge is passed through all of them. So I'll say now we got the charge. This is the charge which is passed through the circuit through all electrolytes. I'll apply the formula Q is equal to I into T. Q is equal to 1295.6. I is given to us, that is 1.5 ampere. We can calculate time. So you can calculate here time, which is equal to 1295.6 upon 1.5. This will come in seconds. We also need to find out mass of copper and zinc. What is deposited? Let's try to find out mass of copper. Copper sulfate ionizes to give you copper ions plus sulfate ions. Copper ions will gain 2 mole of electron and will change to 1 mole of copper. So 2 Faraday of charge is passed, which is 2 into 96500 coulombs. And what amount of copper is deposited? It is 1 mole and its mass is 63.5 grams. So let's see, when you pass 2 into 96500 coulomb, the mass of copper deposited is 63.5 gram. When you pass 1, then you can calculate what is the amount of charge which is passed through all electrolytes, that is 1295.6. So when you pass 1295.6 coulomb, what amount of copper will be deposited? It is 63.5 divided by 2 into 96500, and this is 1295.6, and you can calculate, you will get here some amount of copper which is deposited here in grams. Exactly on the same lines, you can calculate for zinc also. Just remember, the mass of zinc here is, molar mass of zinc is, or atomic mass of zinc is, it is 65 grams. बेटा जैसे यहाँ 63.5 लिया था, यहाँ पे 65 लेना. And in case of zinc also, it also gains 2 mole of electron, 2 Faraday charge, and changes to 1 mole. So we have calculated the masses of zinc and copper here, as well as we have got the time also. Beta, let me revise what we have done. Today we have done 2 laws of Faraday. First one says that mass of substance which is deposited at any electrode, either on anode or cathode, is directly proportional to the amount of charge passed through it. More the charge, more is the mass. Lesser the charge, lesser is the mass. In second law of Faraday, it says that even if same amount of charge is passed through 2 or more electrolytes, then different quantities of different masses of metals are deposited at the respective electrodes, and the masses of metal deposited is directly proportional to the equivalent weight of that metal. What is equivalent weight? It is the atomic mass divided by number of electrons lost or gained during this process. So children, we have done quantitative aspect of electrolysis. Quantity wise also we can calculate what mass of substance is deposited. Last class we have discussed qualitative aspect, which is about what substances are deposited or liberated at respective electrodes. So just revise all these things, because we'll discuss the exercise question also once the chapter will be completed. Thank you.